Hey gardeners, thanks for stopping by my channel. You're watching Gardening on Taylor Mountain and I'm Bobby. I am getting ready to prune my Macrophylla hydrangeas and it's just feeling so springy, so it's time right now to get some pruning done, so stay tuned. Well, this is not the prettiest view for you. It's at the back of our house. You can see the propane tank, you can see the utility box. When I planted my macrophyllas, I have 4. When I planted them, I decided that they were going to be used for cutting, and of course they're beautiful, but you know, it's just we don't do a whole lot of I don't know, beautifying back here in the back of the house. So mainly it's a working, they're working bushes. So that's why you're seeing all of this back here. But you can see that it bloomed beautifully during the summer. And when I say that I'm going to prune my Macrophylla hydrangeas, I'm using that term very loosely because I am really not going to prune them per se. I am going to just deadhead them. Basically with the Macrophylla hydrangeas, they start putting on their buds, you know, for their blooms the prior year, which would be during the months of August through October. So if I were to go in and really whack this shrub back a lot, I would cut off all of my blooms for this year. And we don't want to do that. So we just want to deadhead the old blooms. Now I am in zone 6B. For a point of reference for you, it is March the 2nd. And I said I'm in zone 6B. Now, if you are in a zone, you know, quite a bit lower than me and you have macrophyllas, say you still have snow on the ground, you might want to consider waiting to deadhead your macrophyllas. The macrophyllas are also known as the big leaf hydrangeas. Mine are all either, mine are blue, different shades of blue. The one over here that you can barely see is kind of a purpley with little white flecks in it, and it's never changed colors. The macrophylla, or the big leaf hydrangeas, are pH dependent. Now my soil is acidic, so therefore they are blue. If my soil had more alkaline in it, they would be more pinky purple, but mine are a definite blue, as you can see with the pictures that I've shared with you. So we are in the middle of moving some cattle. In case you're hearing them in the background, they are over on the farm. I'll show you here, I'm just deadheading. And I used, I can link in the description below, but I used a lot of these and dried a lot of these blooms towards the end of the summer, early fall, when they were ready to dry, and they dry so beautifully. But I can already see the buds on here. Now let me say, you know, you may get a late frost, even, you know, a little bit of snow. I've had that happen. I've had all of my buds that were just, you know, just in the early spring, I've had them all turn completely black. And I just was so afraid that I had lost all of my blooms. But I tell you, they are pretty tough shrubs. Even though they are slightly finicky as to when you prune them, they are a pretty tough shrub, pretty resilient, let me say. Now I will fertilize these with some rose tone when I see a little bit more waking up of the shrub. There is starting to wake up. I can see some buds wanting to start doing their thing, the buds that were already formed from August through October of last year. But as soon as I see the shrubs start waking up a little more, I will go around the drip line with some Rose Tone by Espoma. That's what I use on all of my hydrangeas, whether they be macrophylla, paniculatas, serratas, what else? Arborescens. I use the Rose Tone on all of them. So I'm just basically going to go in here and clean up deadhead this entire bush. Oh boy, I see a lot of beautiful buds on there, and I'm careful. Even when I cut some for drying, I'm very careful. I don't cut way down into the shrub, because usually when you cut your hydrangeas for drying, it's later in the season. It's, you know, late August or something like that, maybe September going into. So they've already started forming their buds. So I'm very, very careful that I don't go down too far into my shrub and cut off those buds. And I'll also reach my hand down in here. I have a small little rake I'll show you. This little rake is perfect for getting under shrubs. So I'll work on doing that. There's a lot of moss growing on the ground back here because we get about 4 hours of sun in the morning, and then the rest of the day it's shade. So it would be considered part sun, really, this area. Now, your macrophyllas do like some afternoon protection, which this whole area in back of our house gets, but they still, in the heat of the day, sometimes macrophyllas will just wilt down completely. But you know, you can throw a little bit of water on them just to give them a little bit of hydration. But overall, they are just, like I said, such resilient shrubs. Also, if you see any interior branches or dead wood that needs to be cut out, it's okay to go ahead and cut it out at this time. Well, I'm going to go ahead and finish up these macrophyllas. And I've got hydrangeas on either side of me. This is a little quick fire, a paniculata hydrangea, which I will not prune quite yet. I can cut that one back by about 1/3 because your paniculatas bloom on new wood. So if I were to cut back 1/3 of that, I would not be cutting off any of my blooms. But I do like to wait until I see just a little bit of green appear on the paniculatas, which that happens just a little bit later than your macrophyllas usually. This is a little lime paniculata hydrangea. These are by Proven Winners, the little lime and the firelight, the little quick fire. Anyway, this one I can cut back by about 1/3 as well, and I like to try to keep these size controlled. So I will wait till I see just the green start emerging on the stems before I cut those back, and I will fertilize them at the same time with Rose Tone around the drip line. You know, it's really hard to get in the interior of it and get out all the old dead leaves, but do the best you can without, you know, tearing up your entire shrub. But I'm excited to see the blooms, to see the buds start to do their thing, and then the beautiful blooms. They're just, there's nothing like a Macrophylla hydrangea. Just love it so much. I'm very glad that you were here with me. I really appreciate your support of this channel. And I'm halfway to my goal for 2022 on subscribers. So anytime you can share with your friends or anything like that, my channel, I would really appreciate that. And as I usually always say at this time of year, I hope you're getting inspired and you're getting encouraged by your gardens. You know, it takes faith during the winter when things are just dormant and when you're living in the colder zones. It really just takes faith to know that you've done you know, everything you can do in your garden. Of course, some things we cannot control in our gardens and in our environment. But anyway, when you see things start budding out in the spring, it's like, whew, okay, yeah, it's good, it's good, it's good. I just noticed my gladiator alliums about this big, and that just excites me to no end. Alliums are one of my favorite, all types of alliums are one of my favorite perennials. So anyway, thank you again for watching. Happy gardening, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.